If you like what I do, consider joining my channel or donating to my coffee. Links in the description.
No. Wait.
Okay, I know you've got some questions, top of which are probably, is Minishoot Adventures even a Metroidvania? Isn't this game more like a Zelda-like? And what's up with the apostrophe? To which I would respond, yes, maybe, and I don't know. That is not how contractions work. Anyway, it's all inconsequential. Not just the apostrophe thing, the is it an MV thing. We have a nice, succinct little definition for our favorite genre, whose very name itself is always under attack. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just gotta listen to your gut. And though Minishoot isn't a platformer, one of the core pillars of an MV, it nails so many other facets of the genre so hard that it still retains that Metroidvania feeling we love so much thanks to its fun combat, addictive progression system, and excellent open world exploration. But I'm getting way ahead of myself here. Point is, I have no issue calling Minishoot Adventures an MV. I suppose you could also categorize it as a Zelda-like, but I feel MV suits it better. Zelda games are more puzzle-centric, while MVs are more combat and platformer-centric. Don't get me wrong, there are a ton of overlap between the two types, but MVs just have a different feel than Zelda-likes, you know? Anyway, enough preamble. What is Minishoot Adventures about? It's a top-down, twin-stick shoot-'em-up, open-world adventure where you control a sentient spaceship whose entire life gets turned upside down when an ancient evil emerges and imprisons everyone he loves. After being chosen by some seemingly divine entity, our little ship is tasked with saving everyone and taking down the big bad darkness-bringing bad guy. Is this an adventure worth taking? Or is this a Minishoot misfire?
Combat.
If you've played a twin-stick shooter before, Minishoot Adventures combat will feel familiar. You move with one stick, aim with the other, and pull the trigger to unleash a barrage of bullets. It's as simple and satisfying as that. Now, I'll be honest, I'm terrible at twin-stick shooters when using a controller. Fortunately, Minishoot has an impressive suite of accessibility options that made even a scrub like me feel like a space ace. The assist mode, which adds a slight homing effect to your shots, was a lifesaver. Flame me in the comments if you want, but using this option made the game so much more enjoyable for me. In the end, that's what really matters, having fun. So yeah, the basics of combat boil down to moving, aiming, and shooting without getting shot. And that last part is where things get tricky. The game starts off easy enough, but as you progress, the screen becomes an absolute war zone filled with bullets and waves of enemies. The most intense moments come when the game locks you in a room and throws everything it has at you. These encounters are chaotic and thrilling, with an insane number of bullets and enemies to weave through. Thankfully, Minishoot provides some tools to help you survive these bullet hell scenarios. You can gain access to a bomb that clears bullets in your vicinity, and a time slowing effect that can help you maneuver through tight spots. However, both of these abilities require special energy to use, and obtaining that energy isn't always easy. You can either shoot special crystals to recharge your special moves instantly, or attack enemies and wait for the energy to replenish over time. Your ship's most critical defense tool is the dash. It's a quick burst of speed that functions like a dodge, allowing you to reposition or escape danger. However, unlike most dodge mechanics, it doesn't come with iframes, so you'll need precise timing and positioning to use it effectively. Now, let's talk about the highlights of Minishoot Adventures, the bosses. These encounters are a blast. The bosses are big, have creative designs, and bring plenty of challenge. What makes them truly epic, though, are their multiple phases. Each boss has several phases, shifting their position and changing up their attack patterns as you deal damage. This keeps every fight fresh and engaging, ensuring you're always on your toes. And that'll do it for this section. Minishoot Adventures offers fast-paced, chaotic, and rewarding combat. While the game's accessibility options make it approachable for all skill levels, its intense bullet hell moments and multi-phase boss fights will keep even the most seasoned players hooked. It's twin-stick shooting at its finest.
Abilities. Platforming.
This is going to be a pretty short section because, well, there's zero platforming in Minishoot Adventures. That's not to say moving through the game's world isn't worth talking about. In fact, zipping through biomes and weaving through waves of enemy fire is just as satisfying as jumping and climbing around in a more traditional Metroidvania. It's just a different kind of fun. The game also throws in some environmental gimmicks to keep things fresh. You'll encounter ramps to fly off of, races to complete, and even water to sink into if you're not paying attention. And let's not forget the ludicrous amount of buttons you'll need to find to unlock doors and gates. Finding buttons to open new paths is half of all the puzzles in Minishoot, and the other half involves obtaining and using new abilities to advance. Speaking of abilities, despite not being a traditional Metroidvania, the ship's upgrades aren't particularly unique or groundbreaking, but they're still a lot of fun to use. You'll unlock the aforementioned dash that lets you dodge and leap over small gaps, a speed booster to accelerate through the world, a high-powered gun that can destroy debris blocking your path, and, oddly enough, the ability to fly over water. It's a little weird that a hovering spaceship even needs to upgrade to cross water, but hey, I'm not a scientist, so I'm just gonna roll with it. While these abilities aren't exactly innovative, the way Minishoot's world is designed makes each one feel exciting to unlock. Every new ability dramatically expands your capacity to explore, opening up new areas and paths in a way that feels rewarding and keeps you eager to see what's next. And that'll do it for this section. Minishoot Adventures doesn't have traditional platforming, but its fast-paced movement and world design make traversal just as engaging. The abilities may not be the most original, but their impact on exploration ensures they feel meaningful and fun to use, keeping the experience fresh and exciting from start to finish.
Progression.
Progression in Minishoot Adventures is downright addicting. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, I'll let you decide, but for me, the more addicting, the better. So, what makes progression in Minishoot so good? For starters, there's a leveling system with an easy-to-understand skill tree. As you defeat enemies, your little ship gains XP. Leveling up not only comes with satisfying fanfare, but also recharges your HP and triggers a bullet-clearing wave, which has saved my bacon more times than I'd like to admit. Each level also earns you a skill point to invest in the skill tree. The upgrades are pretty standard for a twin-stick shooter with RPG elements, things like increasing damage, fire rate, and range. But Minishoot does include some more unique upgrades as you move along in the game. The progression might not reinvent the wheel, but each upgrade feels substantial, and leveling happens frequently enough to keep you hooked. Every improvement comes with immediate, tangible results, and the constant sense of growth creates an irresistible loop that makes you want to keep pushing forward. Shops also play a big role in Minishoot's progression system. They're scattered across the world, with hidden shops offering some of the best loot. Items can only be purchased using a special currency dropped by larger, more rare enemies. Additionally, there's a second special currency in the form of golden scarabs, but I'll let you discover their purpose on your own. One of the first shops you unlock is in the game's hub town, and as you rescue your family and friends from imprisonment around the world, you'll unlock even more shops and services. By the end game, the once quiet ghost town you started in transforms into a thriving metropolis teeming with life. Watching the hub town evolve is one of the most satisfying aspects of the game. The services unlocked by your rescued ship buddies range from map upgrades to lore delivery, giving you plenty to do in the hub town. It was always a treat to return and see how much livelier the town had become since my last visit. As for collectibles, Minishoot features 3 major types, each with a unique purpose. There are heart pieces to increase your max HP, spirits you must defeat in races, and, most excitingly, artifacts. Artifacts provide passive enhancements for your ship, and they're automatically equipped and stacked, so you never have to decide which ones to use. The passive buffs from artifacts can be game-changing, with upgrades like increased XP gain, counterattacks, and more. And that'll do it for progression. Minishoot Adventures nails its progression systems. Between frequent leveling, meaningful skill tree upgrades, satisfying collectibles, and the joy of watching your hub town flourish, the game keeps you invested and eager to see what's next. If you're anything like me, you might just find yourself hooked, so be careful.
Exploration.
Minishoot's combat and progression are already excellent in their own right, but the way they intertwine with the game's exploration takes the experience to another level. You're constantly defeating enemies to level up, enhancing your skills, and then using those enhancements to delve deeper into the game's expansive world. It's a beautifully cohesive system that keeps you engaged every step of the way. Once you complete the first biome, Minishoot Adventures opens up into a relatively non-linear experience. From there, the game gives you free reign to explore as you see fit. It's not uncommon to hear different Minishoot players describe vastly different experiences, which speaks volumes about the game's exceptional world design. Speaking of world design, let's talk about fast travel, or rather, the lack thereof. While this might sound like a bad thing, the game's compact world and abundance of unlockable shortcuts ensure that traveling across the map is never a chore. In fact, getting from one end of the map to the other only takes a few minutes. Yes, the world is smaller than those in many other Metroidvanias, but what it lacks in size, it more than makes up for in density. The overworld is packed with cave systems, dungeons, and plenty of intriguing areas to discover. Believe me when I say there is more ground to cover than meets the eye. Adding to the exploration experience is the game's detailed in-game map, though you don't start with it. Each biome has a map piece you'll need to find to unlock that area's section of the world map. Want even more details, like cave entrances or a kind of checklist of collectibles? You'll need to earn those too. I absolutely love when Metroidvanias provide optional tools to uncover every secret, but don't force them on players. It allows you to search for everything yourself first, then use these tools later to track down what you might have missed. It's a great system for completionists and casual players alike. As for what you'll find while exploring, I mentioned most of these things in the previous sections. Heart pieces to boost your HP, special currency, golden scarabs, artifacts with passive enhancements, and imprisoned ship buddies to rescue. But that's not all. There are also lore tablets that shed light on the game's backstory, tantalizing hidden areas and secrets to discover, and mysterious items that keep you guessing until their purpose becomes clear. Minishoot also excels at creating a sense of intrigue and mystery. Every corner of its compact yet dense world feels thoughtfully crafted, inviting you to dig deeper to uncover its secrets. From its interconnected caves to its curious towers and trees, the game rewards thorough exploration with meaningful discoveries. And that'll do it for this section. Minishoot Adventures delivers a masterclass in exploration. Its open and compact world is brimming with secrets, shortcuts, and collectibles, all tied together with a detailed map system. Combine this with the game's satisfying progression and engaging combat, and you've got an exploration experience that feels fresh, rewarding, and impossible to put down.
Atmosphere, narrative.
Minishoot Adventures' presentation strikes a perfect balance between minimalist and bold. The game's use of simple geometry for character designs and vibrant colors for its environments creates a visual style that is both unique and eye-catching. It's a stripped-down approach that works exceptionally well, making every character and biome feel distinct while giving the game an undeniable charm. Complementing this visual style is a soundtrack that's nothing short of phenomenal. Minishoot's OST leans into a chiptune meets synthwave vibe that manages to feel both nostalgic, modern, and energetic. The overworld theme is whimsical and cheery, setting a lighthearted tone as you explore, while the boss themes crank up the intensity with industrial undertones and soaring synth notes that scream epic. Another standout aspect of Minishoot's atmosphere is its sparse use of dialogue. Outside of one character who speaks in traditional text boxes and the occasional lore tablet, most of the game's communication is done visually and is surprisingly effective. Your little ship and its buddies emote in adorable ways to convey emotion and context, from spinning with joy after leveling up to subtle visual cues during conversations. These small details make a big impact, creating a world that feels alive without the need for excessive exposition. When it comes to the narrative, Minishoot's plot starts as your standard "Chosen One must restore balance to the kingdom" story, but there's a twist I won't spoil that recontextualizes the entire journey and makes you sit back and go, oh, that's pretty neat. I always appreciate when a game gives me a fresh perspective on its story. As for the endings, Minishoot technically has just one, but it's framed as a bad ending that unlocks post-game content. Completing this content leads to a good ending, and for the truly dedicated, a true ending awaits. Be warned though, chasing that true ending is no small feat. It's only worth pursuing if you're deeply in love with the game's combat. I went for it, of course, but I won't be showing my game file to prove it. If you know, you know. That's it for this section. Minishoot Adventures nails its atmosphere with a striking visual style, a fun soundtrack, and an effective, understated narrative.
Final thoughts and score.
Minishoot Adventures takes twin-stick shooting and breathes new life into it with its charming presentation, its satisfying progression system, and its densely packed world full of secrets to uncover. Its approachable gameplay, thanks to its robust accessibility options, ensures players of all skill levels can dive in and have a blast dodging bullets and blasting enemies. While its abilities might not break the mold and its story keeps things minimal, the sheer joy of leveling up, uncovering artifacts, and exploring its vibrant world makes a Minishoot a standout experience. With intense multi-phase boss fights, an addictive skill tree, and a whimsical yet bold aesthetic, Minishoot Adventures delivers a compact but unforgettable journey that feels greater than the sum of its parts. I award Minishoot Adventures an 8.5 out of 10. Minishoot Adventures is on PC and just dropped on all major consoles. I completed the base game in 7 hours and completed its post-game content for a total of 10-ish hours of gameplay. I played Minishoot Adventures exclusively on the Steam Deck with 0 issues and thus award the game a Steam Deck rating of verified.
Pair placement.
Minishoot Adventures is a compact yet ambitious take on the twin-stick shooter formula, blending fast-paced combat, rewarding progression, and engaging exploration into a cohesive and memorable experience. While it's not a traditional Metroidvania, its ability-gated world design and satisfying collectibles will scratch that itch for fans of the genre. However, its abilities, while functional, lack originality, and the fact that the game isn't even a platformer may turn some MV purists off. Minishoot Adventures blasts its way into the B tier. All things considered, Minishoot Adventures is an incredibly fun and polished experience old school Zelda fans will love. And I think MV enthusiasts, regardless of where you're seated on the purist fence, will love this game too, because big adventures come in mini packages.